My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen carefully. Do not scroll away. Do not let distraction pull you from this message. There is a reason your eyes landed here today. Out of all the voices competing for your attention, out of all the places you could be right now, you are here. And I want you to know that this is not an accident. I have been watching over you. I have seen every step you have taken, every battle you have fought, and every burden you have carried. I know there have been moments when you felt invisible, moments when you wondered if anyone truly understood what was happening inside your heart. You smiled for others while carrying pain in silence. You kept moving forward even when your strength was fading. You told yourself to hold on one more day, one more week, one more month. Yet deep inside, you began to wonder how much longer you could keep going. I know those thoughts. I know those questions. I know about the prayers you whispered when no one else was around. I know about the tears you wiped away before anyone could see them. I know about the disappointments you never talked about and the fears you tried to bury deep within yourself. Nothing about your story has escaped my sight. That is why I need you to stay with me for these next few moments. Do not turn away now. Because what I am about to reveal is something the enemy has desperately tried to keep from you. You have spent so much time looking at what is missing that you have not noticed what is already moving. You have been so focused on the closed doors that you have missed the doors I am preparing to open. You have been measuring your life by what you can see, while I have been working in places your eyes cannot reach. And that is where many of your frustrations have come from. You thought my silence meant absence. You thought the waiting meant rejection. You thought the delay meant I had forgotten you. But my child, none of those things are true. Even now, as you hear these words, there are things unfolding on your behalf that you cannot yet see. There are prayers already moving toward their answers. There are blessings already being arranged. There are connections, opportunities, and breakthroughs that are closer than you realize. The enemy wants you to quit before you see them. He wants you to walk away just before the breakthrough arrives. He wants you to believe that nothing is changing. But I am telling you now, things are changing. More than you know, closer than you think, faster than you expect. This is why I brought you here today. Not to remind you of your failures, not to condemn you for your mistakes, not to make you feel guilty about your past. I brought you here because your heart has been carrying a question for a long time. God, are you still working? And my answer is yes. I am working. I have always been working, even in the moments when you felt abandoned, even in the seasons when you heard nothing, even in the nights when you cried yourself to sleep. I was there. And before this message is over, I want to show you something that could change the way you see your entire situation. So stay with me, child. Do not let this moment slip away. Because if you listen closely, you are about to discover that the very thing you thought was falling apart may actually be the beginning of the miracle I have been preparing all along. My child, there is something I need you to understand today. The exhaustion you have been feeling did not come from one difficult day. It did not come from one disappointment or one setback. It came from carrying too much for too long. You have been carrying questions. You have been carrying worries. You have been carrying burdens that were never meant to rest on your shoulders alone. Some days you wake up already tired, not because your body lacks rest, but because your heart has been fighting battles through the night. Your mind has been racing through possibilities, replaying conversations, revisiting old wounds, and wondering what the future holds. I know this because I have been with you through every moment of it. I saw you when no one else noticed. I saw you when you sat quietly, pretending everything was fine. I saw you when you felt overlooked. I saw you when disappointment hit harder than you expected. And I saw you when you questioned whether your efforts even mattered anymore. You have become so accustomed to carrying pain that you almost expect it. You have learned how to smile while hurting. You have learned how to encourage others while secretly needing encouragement yourself. You have learned how to appear strong while feeling weak inside. But hear me now, beloved. You do not have to carry everything alone. You were never created to live under the weight of fear. You were never designed to be crushed by anxiety. You were never meant to spend your days trapped between yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's worries. Yet that is exactly where the enemy wants you to remain. He wants your attention fixed on what went wrong. He wants your heart consumed by what might go wrong next. Because if he can keep you focused on fear, he can keep you from seeing what I am doing. And what I am doing is greater than you realize. Right now, you may only see confusion. I see purpose. You may only see uncertainty. I see direction. You may only see obstacles. I see opportunities being formed. There are pieces of your story coming together that you cannot yet understand. There are prayers you thought were forgotten that remain before me. There are tears you thought were wasted that have become seeds for a future blessing. Nothing has been lost. Nothing has been overlooked. Nothing has escaped my attention. The enemy told you that your struggle meant defeat, but I tell you that your struggle has been producing strength. The enemy told you that your waiting meant abandonment, but I tell you that your waiting has been preparation. The enemy told you that your story was stuck, but I tell you that your story is moving forward, even now. So stop measuring your future by your present feelings. Feelings change. Circumstances change. But my plans for you remain secure. And there is something else you need to hear. The greatest burden you have been carrying is not your pain. It is the belief that nothing is changing. That lie has stolen your peace for far too long. Because while you have been wondering whether I am working, I have been arranging things behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet imagine. And what I am preparing is closer than you think. Much closer. So hold on, my child. Because in the next part of this message, I want to reveal why the season of waiting has lasted longer than you expected, and why that waiting may become one of the greatest blessings of your life. My beloved child, I know there have been moments when you looked toward heaven and asked a question you were almost afraid to say out loud. Lord, why is this taking so long? You prayed, you believed, you waited, and yet the answer did not arrive when you expected it. The door remained closed. The situation remained unchanged. The burden remained heavy, and slowly, disappointment began whispering to your heart. You started wondering if perhaps I had forgotten about you. Perhaps the promise was not meant for you. Perhaps others would receive their breakthrough while you remained stuck in the same place. But listen carefully to me now. The waiting was never punishment. The waiting was preparation. You have been measuring the season by its length, while I have been measuring it by its purpose. What feels long to you has been necessary for what I am building. A tree that grows too quickly develops shallow roots. When the storms come, it cannot stand. But the tree that spends time growing beneath the surface becomes strong enough to withstand the winds that would destroy weaker things. In the same way, I have been strengthening you in places you cannot see. You thought I was delaying you. I was developing you. You thought I was withholding something good. I was preparing you to sustain something greater. You thought I was saying no. Many times I was simply saying, not yet. My child, if I had answered every prayer the moment you requested it, you would have received some blessings before you were ready to carry them. You would have walked through doors without the wisdom needed to remain there. You would have entered seasons that looked beautiful but lacked the foundation required for lasting peace. I see the entire road ahead. You only see the next step. That is why you must trust me when the journey does not make sense. Even now, while you are questioning the process, I am arranging details you know nothing about. I am moving pieces into place. I am aligning opportunities. I am protecting you from battles you never knew existed. One day you will look back and understand why certain doors stayed closed. One day you will thank me for delays that frustrated you. One day you will realize that what felt like rejection was actually protection. What felt like silence was actually preparation. What felt like waiting was actually growth. If you still believe that I am working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it, type, "I trust you, Lord," in the comments below. And as you do, let your heart remember this truth. Your story is not stuck. Your prayers are not forgotten. Your waiting is not wasted. In fact, you may be much closer to your breakthrough than you have ever been before, and that is exactly why the enemy has been fighting so hard to convince you to give up now. My child, now I want to show you something that many people never understand until much later in their journey. The delay you have been experiencing is not the real battle. The closed door is not the real battle. The waiting itself is not the real battle. The real battle is for your faith. The enemy knows something that you do not fully see yet. He knows how close you are to the very thing you have been praying for. He knows that if he can convince you to quit now, he can keep you from walking into the season I have been preparing. That is why the attacks have felt so intense. That is why discouragement has seemed heavier than usual. That is why doubt keeps trying to creep into your thoughts. The closer you move toward your breakthrough, the louder the voices of fear often become. But hear my voice above every other voice. You are not losing ground. You are gaining it. You are not moving backward. You are moving forward, even if the progress feels invisible right now. Remember this. You saw delay. I saw preparation. You saw confusion. I saw alignment. You saw obstacles. I saw protection. You saw closed doors. I saw wrong paths being blocked. There are things I prevented that you will only understand later. There are relationships I kept you from entering. There are opportunities I did not allow because they would have distracted you from something greater. There are battles I fought for you without you ever knowing they existed. My child, if I revealed everything I have protected you from, you would fall to your knees in gratitude. You have been asking me to open a door. But what if the greater miracle was the doors I refused to open? You have been praying for immediate answers. But what if the greater blessing was the wisdom being formed inside you while you waited? I need you to trust that I see what you cannot see. I see next month. I see next year. I see the conversations you have not had yet. I see the opportunities that have not appeared yet. I see the blessings already moving toward you. Nothing is random. Nothing is out of my control. Nothing has caught me by surprise. Even now, pieces are falling into place. People are being positioned. Circumstances are shifting. Paths are being cleared. And though you cannot see the full picture, I can. That is why I am asking you not to give up. Not now. Not when you have come this far. Not when your breakthrough may be closer than it has ever been before. The enemy wants you focused on what is missing. I want you focused on what is coming. The enemy wants you to count your disappointments. I want you to remember my promises. The enemy wants you to believe your best days are behind you. But I tell you now, your story is still unfolding. In fact, what I am preparing will require a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more dependent on me than ever before. And in the next part of this message, I want to reveal why some of the greatest blessings I have prepared for you could only arrive after this season of testing had done its work. My beloved child, there is a reason some blessings have not arrived as quickly as you hoped. It is not because I have forgotten you. It is not because you are unworthy, and it is certainly not because your prayers have gone unheard. The truth is much deeper than that. Many people ask me to change their circumstances, but few ask me to change their hearts. Many people want the promise, but they are not prepared for the responsibility that comes with it. Many people pray for open doors, yet they have not developed the strength needed to walk through those doors and remain there. That is why this season has been so important. You have been looking for a destination. I have been building your foundation. You have been asking, when will it happen? I have been asking, will you be ready when it does? My child, some of the lessons you learned in this difficult season could never have been learned in comfort. Some of the wisdom you now carry could only be gained through struggle. Some of the strength growing inside you could only be developed through endurance. You thought you were being delayed, but in reality, you were being prepared. Every challenge has been teaching you something. Every setback has been shaping something. Every disappointment has been revealing something. Even the moments that felt unfair were not without purpose. The tears strengthened your compassion. The waiting deepened your faith. The uncertainty taught you to depend on me. And one day, you will realize that this season gave you gifts that success alone never could. Do not despise the process. Do not curse the season that is creating the person you are becoming, because the version of you that emerges from this trial will not be the same person who entered it. You will be stronger. You will be wiser. You will be more confident in my guidance, and you will recognize my hand in ways you never did before. That is why I need you to stop looking at your life as though nothing is happening. Something is happening. Growth is happening. Healing is happening. Preparation is happening. Transformation is happening. Even now, while you are waiting for visible change, I am doing invisible work within you, and that invisible work is preparing you for visible blessings. The enemy wants you to focus on what you have lost. I want you to focus on what you are becoming. The enemy wants you to believe this season has been wasted. I want you to understand that every day has been serving a purpose. Nothing has been meaningless. Nothing has been random. Nothing has been wasted. In fact, there is something else I need you to see. The very struggles that almost broke you may soon become the testimony that inspires others and reveals the power of what I have done in your life. My child, there is something powerful that happens when a person refuses to give up in the middle of the process. Most people celebrate the miracle. Few appreciate the preparation. Most people admire the victory. Few understand the battles that came before it. Yet it is often in those hidden seasons that the greatest transformation takes place. Right now, you may still be looking at your situation and wondering when things will finally change. You may still be waiting for the answer, the opportunity, the healing, or the breakthrough you have prayed for so many times. But I want you to consider something. What if this season is not only about receiving a blessing? What if it is also about becoming the person who can steward that blessing well? Because I am not interested in giving you something that only lasts for a moment. I desire to establish something in your life that endures. That is why I have been strengthening your character. That is why I have been teaching you patience. That is why I have been showing you how to trust me when circumstances make no sense. You see, faith is easy when everything is going your way. Trust is easy when every door opens immediately. But true faith is formed when you continue walking even when you cannot see the entire path ahead. And that is exactly what you have been doing. You may not feel strong. You may not feel courageous. You may not even realize how much you have grown. But I see it. I see the person you are becoming. I see how much more resilient you are than you were before. I see how much wiser you have become through every challenge. I see how your dependence on me has deepened through every difficult season. Nothing about this journey has been wasted. The pain taught you compassion. The waiting taught you endurance. The disappointments taught you discernment. The setbacks taught you perseverance. And all of these things are becoming part of the foundation for what is ahead. That is why I need you to stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Their timing is not your timing. Their assignment is not your assignment. Their story is not your story. I am writing something unique in your life, something personal, something intentional, something that cannot be rushed. If you constantly measure your progress against others, you will miss the beauty of what I am doing in you. My child, I have not called you to run someone else's race. I have called you to walk faithfully in the path I prepared specifically for you. And the path ahead is brighter than you realize. There are blessings you have not seen yet. There are opportunities you have not imagined yet. There are prayers that are closer to being answered than you think. If you believe that God is still working, even when you cannot see it, write, "My breakthrough is coming," in the comments below. Let that declaration be a reminder to your own heart, not because everything has already changed, but because I am changing you. And when I finish the work I have begun in you, the doors that open next will lead you into a season unlike anything you have experienced before. For what is coming is not merely a reward for your waiting. It is the beginning of a new chapter I have been preparing all along. My beloved child, there is a burden I want to lift from your heart right now. For too long you have allowed your past to speak louder than my promises. You remember the mistakes. You remember the failures. You remember the opportunities that slipped away and the moments you wish you could relive. Sometimes you look back and wonder how different your life might have been if you had made another choice, taken another path, or avoided certain mistakes. And without realizing it, you have been carrying guilt into a season where I am calling you to walk in freedom. Listen carefully. Your past may explain where you have been, but it does not determine where you are going. The enemy wants you to keep staring at yesterday because he knows that a person focused on regret struggles to embrace their future. He wants you trapped in old memories. He wants you replaying old failures. He wants you believing that your greatest opportunities are already behind you. But that is not what I say about you. Your past says you failed. My love says you are forgiven. Your past says you are disqualified. My grace says you are chosen. Your past says you missed your chance. My promises say your story is still being written. My child, do not confuse a chapter with the entire book. There have been difficult chapters in your life. There have been painful seasons that left scars on your heart. There have been moments when you felt broken, abandoned, or defeated, but those chapters are not the ending. I am the author of your story, and I am still writing. The pages ahead contain things you cannot yet imagine. New opportunities, new growth, new relationships, new victories, new reasons to hope again. That is why I need you to stop introducing yourself by your wounds. You are not your worst mistake. You are not the labels others placed on you. You are not the opinions of people who misunderstood your journey. You are not the fear that tries to follow you. You belong to me. And what belongs to me is never beyond redemption. Even the things that caused you pain can become part of your testimony. Even the seasons that nearly broke you can become proof of my faithfulness. Even the mistakes you regret can become lessons that guide you toward greater wisdom. Nothing is beyond my ability to restore. Nothing is beyond my ability to redeem. Nothing is beyond my ability to transform. So stop looking backward with shame. Lift your eyes forward with expectation. Because the future I have prepared for you is far greater than the past you have been grieving. And as you begin to let go of what was, you will be ready for what is coming next. For there are chains that have been holding you back for far too long, and in this next season, I am about to break them one by one. My child, now I want to speak directly to the chains that have been trying to hold you captive. For too long, fear has been whispering in your ear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of disappointment, fear of stepping forward only to get hurt again. These fears have followed you into places I never intended them to go. They have stolen your peace, weakened your confidence, and caused you to question things that I have already settled. But hear me clearly today. Fear was never meant to be your guide. I am. The enemy has worked hard to convince you that the safest place is hiding. He tells you not to trust again, not to hope again, not to believe again. He wants you to build walls around your heart and call it protection. But those walls are also keeping out the healing, the joy, and the freedom I want to bring into your life. My child, I did not create you to live imprisoned by fear. I created you to walk in faith. I did not create you to carry shame. I created you to walk in freedom. I did not create you to live beneath the weight of rejection. I created you to live in the security of my love. There are chains that have remained around your heart because you believed they were permanent. You accepted anxiety as part of who you are. You accepted discouragement as normal. You accepted defeat before the battle was even finished. But I am telling you now, those chains do not belong to you. Fear is not your identity. Shame is not your identity. Rejection is not your identity. Failure is not your identity. You are my child, and my child was never created to live as a prisoner. Even now, I am breaking lies that have been planted in your mind for years. The lie that says you are not enough. The lie that says you will never change. The lie that says your best days are behind you. The lie that says your prayers will never be answered. Those lies lose their power when my truth enters your heart. And my truth is stronger than every fear you have carried. My truth is stronger than every wound. My truth is stronger than every voice that tried to convince you to give up. That is why I need you to stop agreeing with what fear says and start believing what I say. Believe that you are loved. Believe that you are chosen. Believe that you are being led even when you cannot see the path. Believe that I am still working even when circumstances appear unchanged. If you are ready to leave fear behind and step into a new season of faith, type Amen in the comments below, because something is shifting. The chains are weakening. The burden is lifting. The darkness is losing its hold. And what comes next is not another season of survival. It is a season of restoration, renewal, and unexpected favor. A season that will reveal just how faithfully I have been working behind the scenes all along. My beloved child, after every season of testing comes a season of revealing. After every night comes a morning. After every storm comes a clearing sky. And after every season of preparation comes a season where what has been hidden begins to emerge. This is why I do not want you to lose hope. What you see today is not the final picture. The chapter you are living in right now is not the conclusion of your story. There is more ahead, far more than you realize. For so long, you have focused on what has not happened yet. You have counted the delays, measured the waiting, and wondered why certain prayers seem unanswered. But I want you to begin looking with eyes of expectation instead of eyes of disappointment. Because there are blessings already moving toward you. There are answers already unfolding. There are opportunities already being positioned. You may not see them yet, but that does not mean they are not real. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees the first sign of life. In the same way, many of the things I have been preparing for you have been developing beneath the surface, quietly, patiently, perfectly according to my timing. My child, I am a God of restoration. What was lost is not beyond my reach. What was damaged is not beyond my ability to heal. What seemed impossible is not beyond my power to change. I know there are areas of your life where you have almost stopped expecting good things. There are dreams you quietly placed on a shelf because disappointment convinced you they would never happen. There are prayers you stopped praying because you became tired of waiting. But I am asking you to hope again, believe again, trust again, not because of your strength, not because of your circumstances, but because of who I am. I am still the God who opens doors no one can shut. I am still the God who makes a way where there appears to be no way. I am still the God who brings beauty from ashes and purpose from pain. The season ahead will not look like the season behind you. The sorrow will not have the final word. The struggle will not have the final word. The delay will not have the final word. I will. And when I speak, things change. When I move, obstacles give way. When I open a door, no force of darkness can close it. If you are ready to step into a new season, type Amen in the comments below and declare it with faith, because I want you to remember this moment. There is restoration coming. There is healing coming. There is clarity coming. There is favor coming. There are divine connections coming. There are opportunities coming. And one day soon you will look back at this season and realize that what felt like the end was actually the beginning of a chapter filled with growth, purpose, and blessings you never saw coming. But before you can fully enter that new season, there is one final thing I need from you, not perfection, not performance, but something far more powerful. And that is what I want to speak to your heart about next. My beloved child, after everything I have shared with you today, there is one truth that many people struggle to understand. What I desire most from you is not perfection. It is not flawless performance. It is not a life without mistakes. Yet so many of my children spend their lives believing they must earn my love. They think they must become perfect before they can come closer to me. They believe they must fix every weakness, overcome every struggle, and clean up every broken place before I will accept them. But that has never been my heart. I did not call you because you were perfect. I called you because I love you. I did not choose you because you had everything figured out. I chose you because you are mine. My child, stop exhausting yourself trying to become worthy of a love that has already been given. You do not have to prove your value to me. You do not have to earn my attention. You do not have to fight for a place in my heart. You already have one. The enemy wants you trapped in a cycle of striving. He wants you constantly focused on your shortcomings. He wants you looking at everything you are not instead of remembering who you are. But I want something different for you. I want your trust. I want your honesty. I want your heart. Bring me your fears. Bring me your questions. Bring me your doubts. Bring me your disappointments. Bring me the wounds you have hidden from everyone else. Bring me the parts of your life that still need healing. You do not have to carry them alone anymore. There is tremendous freedom in surrender. Not surrender to fear. Not surrender to circumstances. But surrender to my guidance and my love. Because the moment you stop trying to control everything is often the moment you finally experience my peace. Some of you listening right now are exhausted because you have been trying to hold together things that were never yours to carry. You have been trying to solve every problem, predict every outcome, and manage every detail of your future. But I am asking you to release those burdens into my hands. Trust that I see what you cannot see. Trust that I know what you do not know. Trust that my plans are greater than your fears. My child, the next chapter of your life will not be unlocked by perfection. It will be unlocked by faith. By choosing to trust me even when you do not have every answer. By choosing to walk forward even when you cannot see the entire path. By choosing to believe that I am good even in seasons that are difficult to understand. And if you are willing to place your future in my hands today, type, Jesus is my hope, in the comments below. Because what comes next is not simply another lesson. It is a turning point, a moment where you stop looking at what has been lost and begin embracing what I am about to do. And what I am about to do will be greater than anything you have imagined. My beloved child, if you have stayed with me until this moment, then I want you to hear these next words with your whole heart. This is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to surrender to fear. This is not the time to believe the lies that have tried to follow you throughout this season. This is the time to rise. Rise above the disappointment. Rise above the doubt. Rise above the voices that said you would never make it. Rise above the pain that tried to define your future. For too long, you have looked at yourself through the lens of your struggles. You have measured your future by your circumstances and your possibilities by your limitations. But I am calling you to see yourself the way I see you. I do not see defeat. I see resilience. I do not see failure. I see growth. I do not see someone abandoned. I see someone deeply loved. Every battle you survived has prepared you for this moment. Every tear you cried has watered seeds that are now beginning to grow. Every setback that made you question your path has strengthened your ability to trust me. You are not standing where you were a year ago. You are not the same person who first entered this season. You have grown. You have endured. You have learned. And now it is time to move forward with confidence. My child, stop waiting for fear to disappear before you take the next step. Take the step anyway. Stop waiting until you have every answer. Walk forward anyway. Stop waiting until everything feels perfect. Trust me anyway. Because faith has never been about seeing the whole picture. Faith has always been about trusting the one who does. There is a reason the enemy fought so hard against you. There is a reason discouragement came so often. There is a reason you felt pressure to quit. It is because your story is not over. It is because your future still carries purpose. It is because what I am building in your life has value. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, and remember who walks beside you. You are not walking alone. You never were. And you never will be. The breakthrough you seek may be closer than you realize. The answer you need may already be on its way. The chapter ahead may contain blessings you have not even imagined yet. So rise, my child. Rise and keep moving forward, because this is not your ending. This is your turning point. Before this message comes to an end, I want you to remember one thing above everything else. I see you. I know you. I love you. I have not forgotten you. The struggles did not surprise me. The delays did not change my plans. The obstacles did not cancel your purpose. Even when you felt lost, I was guiding you. Even when you felt weak, I was strengthening you. Even when you felt alone, I was standing beside you. Do not leave this message carrying the same burden you brought into it. Leave with hope. Leave with faith. Leave with expectation, because your story is still unfolding. The doors that seem closed today will not remain closed forever. The prayers that seem unanswered have not been ignored. The promises I placed in your heart have not expired. Trust me with your future. Trust me with your fears. Trust me with the things you cannot control. And as you continue to walk with me, you will discover that I was working all along, even in the moments when you could not see my hand. My beloved child, your best days are not behind you. Your purpose is not over. Your miracle is not impossible. Your breakthrough is not out of reach. Something new is beginning. Something beautiful is growing. Something greater is coming. If this message spoke directly to your heart today, type, "Jesus is my hope," in the comments below as a declaration of faith. And if you know someone who is tired, discouraged, or on the verge of giving up, share this message with them. It may be exactly what they need to hear today. Finally, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and stay connected for more messages of hope, encouragement, and God's promises. May God's peace surround you, His wisdom guide you, and His favor rest upon your life. And never forget, you are loved, you are chosen, you are not alone, and your breakthrough may be closer than you think. God bless you.